to challenge reinstatements of Martin Amewule and other lawmakers. Our focus tonight is national security and the debate on the creation of state police. And I will be speaking with Mike Okiro, a former Inspector General of the Nigeria Police. And later we'll shift our attention to Rivers State and the ongoing political impasse rocking the State House of Assembly. We'll also take a look at the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which nullified the sack of Martin Amewule and 24 other lawmakers. On that, I will be speaking with Olayinka Ola Daniels, a lawyer and is also a political affairs analyst. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the program. Now let's begin with some developments in the polity. Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived Kaduna State to flag off of the resettlement scheme for victims of a military drone attack at Sudumbiri village in Igabi local government. Governor Uba Sani and other senior government officials were at the Kaduna International Airport to receive the Vice President. Vice President of the DG, National Emergency Management Agency, and the Speaker of the Kaduna State House of Assembly also welcomed the Vice President. The Vice President will perform the groundbreaking of the construction of residential houses for victims of the air bombing, which killed more than 100 persons, mostly children.
This resettlement scheme is more than just bricks and mortar. It is a symbol of our collective will to heal as a nation that has endured too much. It is an opportunity for each of us to come together and review. It is a call to action. It is an appeal to come together in solidarity against the common threats that undermine our collective well-being. Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is invested in building peace and stability in each part of this great country.
This is clear demonstration of Mr. President's commitment to wiping out the tears of Sudumbiri people and indeed poor, vulnerable and underserved in our country. Mr. President feels the pains of the internally displaced person and all those affected by conflicts in our country. He recognized the fact that decent accommodation and essential infrastructure are critical to the preservation of human dignity.
The factional Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Victor Okojombo, says his group would move to the Supreme Court to challenge the judgments of the Court of Appeal on the controversial defection of Martin Amewule and other lawmakers. Mr. Jombo believes the court erred to have held that the State High Court lacked jurisdiction to entertain the suit seeking to declare the lawmakers' seat vacant. He also wants INEC to conduct a by-election for the lawmakers' constituencies.
We have instructed our lawyers and they have filed an appeal to the Supreme Court of Nigeria challenging the judgments of the Court of Appeal delivered on the 4th day of July 2024. This House of Assembly, with me as the Speaker, is the only House of Assembly in Rivers State. Martin Amewule and 24 others, in spite of all their pretenses, are no longer members of the Rivers State House of Assembly.
Let's take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to discuss matters of national security and the debate on state policing with Sir Mike Okiro, a former Inspector General of Police. I'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Tonight we're discussing matters of national security and the debate on state policing. And I'm being joined from Abuja studio by Sir Mike Okiro, who is the former Inspector General of Police. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's so good to see you again.
Well, thank you very much.
Right, so let's begin tonight's conversation with your general assessment of the security situation in the country. How do you assess it?
Well, the security situation in the country is bad, but that is a worldwide phenomenon. Very many countries, very advanced countries are having it bad as far as security is concerned. But the only difference is that they've been able, or they devised methods of controlling the security situation in their country. What we do in Nigeria is also make efforts, the government is making efforts to control and subdue the situation, the security situation in Nigeria right now. We do not expect to have it good all the time, but that doesn't mean you have to sit down and watch. Different actions start to be taken, measures start to be put in place to ensure that the insecurity is brought to its barest minimum. Exactly what the government is trying to do now by trying to ensure that security agencies are put in place, they're equipped, they're trained, and they give the wherewithal to fight the insecurity and make sure Nigerians go home and still with their 2 eyes closed.
But what exactly are we not doing? Because at different times, the military has announced offensives, including airstrikes against bandit hideouts in vast forests across the northwest. But these criminal gangs are proving an elusive enemy. What exactly are we not doing?
Well, this is what we can do. Like I said earlier on, there's no country that don't have security now. But what happened that when there's this security program, the government or security agencies will devise a way to tackle it. The insurgents or the criminals will go back and they plan and come out with a new phase, new method. You let the government and security agencies to study the method these people have used and try to tackle them. And to devise ways to stop them. You know, if you have enough security agencies, you have enough equipment, you have enough technology to fight them, you can fight them adequately. But there's nowhere it can be you'll be so perfect that the criminals or insurgents will not slip by one way or the other. The fact that we shall try as much as possible to see that the security agencies are measuring up with whatever methods, whatever devices the insurgents or the criminals want to use to make sure that they are controlled. The Nigerians have a measure of security in them. It's not everybody gives up and say to Israel or they're giving up. No, the security agencies and government have not given up. They're still fighting them.
All right, so Kiri, let's talk about the recent female suicide bombers, now back to Borno State. Are we back to the era of suicide bombing? I mean, we thought we had made significant progress with that.
Yeah, when you have suicide bombers, it means they've lost hope. We cannot confront the security agencies frontally. They cannot succeed whatever they do. So they go to suicide bombing. And suicide bombing cannot control because unless you have to check everybody, at the roadblock, everybody enters the city or enters everywhere, it's checked. Everybody enters the market, it's checked. Anybody enters the church or the mosque, it's checked. That's what you can do, but it's not possible. So that is why suicide bombing is a way to show that the insurgents, the criminals have lost hope. So they resort to suicide bombing, where somebody passed, like another person, they think the person coming to do business, and lo and behold, a suicide bomber. So that shows they have actually lost hope, they have lost ground. Suicide bombing is the last hope of criminals or insurgents. So, but what you got to do, it means you have to get enough equipment to screen anybody entering the market, even within the church or the mosque, or into any public place. Ensure that you have devices to screen them. Because that's not the way they think they can penetrate and cause mayhem and havoc. So what you got to do, security agencies have to get enough equipment body equipment, scanners, to ensure that people going to public places are properly screened. That's the only way you can assure that the security in such public places.
Right, but should Northeastern governors be worried at this point? And do you agree with the House of Reps members who have said this occurred due to complacency by security agencies and the communities?
No, it doesn't really follow. Because maybe there was not enough intelligence to know that some people are coming. If there was, they could have mounted scanners and devices to screen anybody entering that kind of place. But fortunately, they didn't do it. And they couldn't have it because it has never happened in that part of Nigeria before. So they felt they were doing the external aggression, the external check on the insurgents, not knowing that they could use that method. So now that they've been used, the security agencies will now go back to the drawing board and find out ways to counter them. Either AD function, people coming there properly screened, some meters away from the venue, that they know to check it. Before, they didn't know that such a thing could happen. They must have been doing some peripheral check on people, on vehicles, not knowing that such a thing could happen. I think it's an opening eye for everybody, especially the agencies in Nigeria, that anywhere, anytime, these people can strike.
So should Northeastern governors be worried at this point?
Of course, we should be worried. To lose lives, lose property is worrisome. Even
All right, so Sakura, earlier you talked about recruitment of more officers, purchase of more equipment. But you know, in recent times, there have been this call for accountability in the security sector. I mean, looking at how much money has been pumped into that sector in the last 6 years. So are you on the side of those asking for a thorough investigation into how defense budget is executed? And if indeed these monies are used for what they should be used for, especially by the military?
Yeah, the military and the security agencies, they have their budgets, and these budgets go through scrutiny before they are approved by National Assembly. And when the money is released, we have procedures through which the money is spent. They have to go through normal procedure, advertise, and then things are done. And there are checks and balances. They have auditors which check these things. The items bought, they're properly executed, the budgets are properly executed. There are checks and balances. I don't think this money can be released and people should be allowed to spend the way they like. The checks and balances, they should be checked to ensure that the monies released are used the way they are proposed to be used. The security agencies, they have things to buy for security. So it should be checked. It's strong to somebody to just say that the money used by the military is not properly accounted for. There will be reasons, there will be explanation, there will be checks and balances, there will be auditing to know if the item have been purchased as given by the government or by National Assembly on how the money should be spent because before the money is brought in, there's a budget. So it's wrong for somebody to sit down and say the money has not been properly used.
You know, I asked that question because 2 days ago, the senators rejected the prayer seeking to stop service chiefs from diverting funds meant for purchasing security equipment to building universities. I mean, a lot of Nigerians are asking, isn't this a matter the National Assembly should investigate?
They should investigate that, and if somebody is culpable, will be dealt with. The money, the budgets are made up for certain items, for certain actions, or certain procedures. If they're not properly done, the organizations, agencies, the arms of government, do the responsibility of ensuring that there's accountability. Such occasions, the person should be investigated. If found culpable, they should be dealt with. To us as a deterrent to others.
All right, let's talk about state policing, because since our last conversation on this matter, there seemed not to be a consensus on the creation of state police. 16 state governors have gotten back to the president. 20 state governors are yet to tell where they stand on this matter. And you know, former IGPs like yourself, even the current IGP is against it. And you have said regional policing is the way to go. Do you still stand on that, Sir Okiro?
Yeah, I say police is not the answer to our problem. Because for the benefit of hindsight, before independence, we had regional police. After independence, we had regional police. But what happened in the West, in the mid-60s, like 65, was a problem for Nigeria. So the police was badly used in the West. We saw that after the Civil War, when General Gowon came into power, about 1971 or thereabout, we now had unitary police. The regional police, state police were abolished. We had regional police, which we have now, which is federal police. Every police officer is accountable to the federal government. That we have now. So to have state police, we have to be going back to what we rejected. And again, if recently you can find out some governors or some governments, some states, sometimes not able to pay teachers, the civil servants, nurses or doctors. Some people cannot pay. They say to the police in every state, it's more than the civil service put together. All the civil service put together, you know, the state of the police is more than that. If governments cannot pay their civil servants, it means they cannot pay the police. I can't afford to owe police 1 month. So that was why I was suggesting regional police. Yeah, we have 6 geopolitical zones called zonal police, geopolitical police. We have 6 geopolitical zones. We have a situation where the people from the zone, let's for example, Southeast. People from Southeast, people from Imo, police officer recruited who are from Imo, can be posted to Anambra, can be posted to Enugu. People from Anabia can be posted to Imo, can be posted to Ebonyi, like that. That they know the culture, they know the language, they're placed around the geopolitical zone. When you did a certain rank like AC, a certain commission of police, cannot be posted outside the zone. But that time now, they have learned the culture. They are mature to move outside their geographical zone to another state, to another zone, the case may be. And then the federal government will be in charge of the salary of policemen. So the policemen are posted, are recruited from a state and posted within the zone. The governors within the zone will equip the police within that zone. But the problem we have now is that the federal government cannot equip the police. The governors are buying vehicles, buying arms for the police. With geopolitical zone, all the governors within the zone will get money and equip the police within their zone. A situation where you have state police and the governor control the police. You can agree with me, the kind of governors we have, not all of them. Some of them are going to misuse the police. That even the opposition parties will run out of town. The government allow the opposition parties to operate if it's to control the police in that state. So to make sure that this kind of thing does not happen, the police is the answer to the problem. And also, I suggested in my program that the budget of the police, we went to 7. The 7th part is controlled by the IG and Force Headquarters. The other 6 parts are controlled among each geopolitical zone will be headed by DIG. The DIG will be in charge of the budget, Nigerian budget for the zone. to put among the states in that zone. That's much, much better than state police. And we find this geopolitical zone, governors not ask for state police any longer because they cannot control them. And the police is nearer to them than before.
All right. So, curious, so this idea of regional policing you just illustrated, is it the same as the recommendations by the Damadamis panel?
No. Damadamis panel did not recommend geopolitical police. What they recommended was the state police, but the structure, quite different. Promotions, training of state police. They were talking about state police. For them, they didn't have this idea of having now about the geopolitical police. You are thinking of the structure, the promotion, the training, and even the equipment of the police. We're quite different for what it is now. So the IG has more role to play because the IG knows what is needed. The budget should be by him. And it's a situation now. I was IG before, and I know the problem. In the budget, a certain amount is earmarked for a certain thing. At the end of the day, we get 50% of that amount put on the budget. Even if we have the AIE, sometimes cash backing, because a problem. So the police just are going hand in hand, cap in hand, begging, because you see what to do, the money be budgeted, but not released. So the Damadamis Commission thought things was avoided. The police got to cut their own budget and do what they're supposed to do. The police not like works or whatever. The budget, what is required, it's quite instant. Now talking of insecurity, you need to have vehicles for police to move about. How many times have you seen police people patrolling on the roads on the streets of Abuja? Before it to be so, see police officers with arms patrolling on every street. The presence of a police officer deters a criminal from committing crime. When there are no patrol vehicles, people are not patrolling, the criminals have a field day to do what they want to do. So the Damadamis Commission did talk about geopolitical police, which I'm talking about now.
All right, so Kiro, let me bring this in. Is it a fact that the IG, the AIGs are afraid of the decentralization of their powers, that they may lose their influence, and that's why they're against the creation of state police? Is it a fact?
Yeah, actually, when I wrote about geopolitical police, the president then invited me to present the paper. We have the national, the NSA, the service chiefs, the secretary of the federation, minister for police affairs, so many other officers were there. And I presented the paper, and it was going on fine. But where it derailed, well, when I talked about this budget, that the police budget is going to 7. The 7 parts will be managed by the IG, the first quarters. They just need to go to geopolitical zones. That was why the IG felt like you just said, that his cake was being cut into 7. You oppose it. That was how the police. The president said, well, the IG who wears a shoe, who knows where it pinches, is against it. So that's how he failed. But did that as Chairman Police Service Commission. That's a failed. So you're right. Some of them, but it's natural. Nobody wants to his kingdom to be divided. Yeah, but what he didn't know that the person was IG that day, is not IG now. You see, I'm talking about what the country needs, not what an individual requires.
Absolutely.
You might not look at IG. Other people have come. So it's just the property. The fact that his budget will not be divided, maybe it will be IG for 1 year or 2 years, another person will come, you know. So that was, it was a mistake on his part.
Absolutely. And there are those who have also said, instead of state police, instead of regional policing, why don't we recruit more officers? Is that an option, Salkiri?
Yeah, recruiting more officers does not solve the problem of structure in the police. It doesn't solve the problem of you getting a police officer from Kano, a constable or corporal from Kano, and pushing to Yenegua, where he cannot swim. And then he expects you to go to the creek and arrest a criminal. It wouldn't work. So, what a situation where the officers are used to environment, used to language. So, because the Africa police is designed, we don't talk about it. To make sure police officers, work within the environment where they know the language, know the culture.
Salkiri, let me pause you there while we take this commercial break. And when we come back, we will continue this conversation. Please stay with us, everyone.
Senate and House of Representatives Committee on Works call for memoranda and invitation to investigative hearings on the non-completion of the 15-kilometer Elme One section of the East-West Road and the absence of Reynolds Construction Company on site, termination of contracts by the Federal Ministry of Works on the dualization of Obajana Junction to Benin, namely Section 2 Okene Auchi, Section 3 Auchi Eho, Section 4 Eho Benin, dualization of Ibadan Ilorin Road, Section 2. Oyo Ogbomosho, date Monday 8th July, venue, Conference Room 231, New Senate Building, National Assembly Complex, Abuja, time 11 a.m. Companies who have been paid mobilization for emergency road projects and have not mobilized to site as listed. The Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Works, stakeholders and the general public involved in the aforementioned projects are invited to an investigative hearing scheduled as follows. Date Tuesday 9th July 2024, venue, Conference Room 042, House of Representatives Building, Abuja, time 11 a.m. Chief host, Senator Godswill Akpabio, President of the Senate. Special guest of honor, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, Speaker, House of Representatives. All memoranda are to be submitted into Committee Secretariat on or before the 8th of July. Signed, Senator Berinada Mpigi and Right Honorable Akin Alabi.
Welcome back to Politics Tonight, everyone. Tonight we're discussing matters of national security and the debate on state policing with Sir Mike Okiro, a former Inspector General of Police. Sir Okiro, thank you very much for staying with us on the program. Now, let me allow you land your points on why you think recruiting more officers will not work.
Yeah, I didn't say today too. What I'm saying that that's not the only solution.
Okay.
Because if you have, you still need more officers. If you have your bookers soon, you still need more officers. If you have state police, you still need more officers. You see, United Nations prescription that says 1 policeman to 400 citizens. It's for United, but that doesn't work any longer. Because now have equipment to support the police. But right in Nigeria, I think it should be 1 policeman to 200 people because they don't have the equipment.
All right.
So the threat is still required. We need to recruit more policemen and women to police and provide security for the populace. So it is still needed. Whether you have state police or federal police have it now, or the police, you still have to recruit more policemen.
Absolutely. All right, so Okiro, this IGP, PSC, and professionalism in the police force, what do you think is responsible for this squabble, this everyday wrangling? I mean, lately, IGP Agbetokun was seen lamenting over this same issue, recruitment. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court had ruled on this matter.
I think the problem between the police, the First Quarters, and Police Service Commission is embedded in the Constitution. The Constitution says the IG, the Police Service Commission, the Act creating Police Service Commission 2001 stated that the Police Service Commission shall appoint, promote, discipline all police officers, apart from IG. I remember I wrote an article on this matter about a year or two ago, and I called it the problem between the IG and the Police Service Commission. I called it the non-and-hire syndrome, non-authority of hire and fire syndrome. Because the IG feels the Police Service Commission cannot hire him, cannot fire him. He feels he's superior, or maybe he's at par with the chairman of the Police Service Commission. Because the Police so I know I was an IG, or chairman of the Police Service Commission also. There was a particular IG who wrote him letters. Well, I had to sit down and calculate. I got somebody to who wrote him 245 letters. He did not reply. Invited for meetings, he wouldn't come because he felt we could do nothing to him. And that's an aspect of the Constitution that causes this problem. The Constitution should have really said the IG should be appointed or removed or disciplined by the president on the recommendation of the Police Service Commission. Then see this problem between IG and force quarters between Police Service Commission and IG will end. If the IG knows that Police Service Commission take action against him, he will behave. Some IGs, because of persistent threat, think that the Police Service can do nothing to them. So it's obey Police Service Commission directives.
But Sir Kiro, if the Supreme Court had ruled on this, also the Constitution is very clear.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. I'm coming to the issue of recruitment. The issue of recruitment, like, there was also a problem between the IG, Police Service Commission, on recruitment. They even wrote the Attorney General of the Federation, who said, in fact, there was a kind of lexicon and probably lexicon and semantics. That is, recruitment is not appointment. Therefore, Police Service Commission can appoint but not recruit. Somebody said that recruitment is the same thing as appointment. Therefore, Police Service Commission can recruit. In any case, that matter has gone to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court has ruled that Police Service Commission should recruit, appoint, whatever language we want to use about it, that Police Service Commission has the constitutional right to recruit police officers. But then, I was IG, I was Chairman of Police Service Commission. When I was Chairman of Police Service Commission, I was the President to recruit 10,000 personnel. We had about over 1,500 police stations, divisions in the country, similar to the 4 local governments. But the Senate of Police Service Commission was 461. So we could not do it. So I had to invite the IG and police. We did it together. Because I didn't have the manpower to do it. We did it together.
All right.
But an IG came also to try to hijack it. The first IG I did, there was no problem. Second IG wanted to hijack it. However, settled it. But when I left, more IGs and the Police Service Commission, it became a fight. I remember the former IG's forum, I invited everybody with when Adamu was the IG, Smith was the chairman, to see if we can solve this.
So, Sir Kiro, because of time, how do we move on from this everyday wrangling and this squabble? Is this something the president should look into?
I think it's very, very clear. The Supreme Court, which the Apex Court, which the Grand Norm, has said Police Service Commission should do recruitment. Simple. It should be done. But like I said, because they don't have the manpower, it should be done along, they on their own decide. You don't have to do it alone well. You don't have to do it along with the police well. But it is done by Police Service Commission.
All right, Sakiro, thank you very much for joining us this evening. I've been speaking with the former Inspector General of Police, Michael Kiro, and tonight to discuss the matters of national security and the debate on state policing. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure we would continue this conversation some other time. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. So let's take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to discuss the Rivers Assembly crisis as the appeal court nullifies sack of Martin Amewule, 24 others. And I'll be speaking with Olayinka Ola Daniels, is a lawyer and a political reference analyst. Please stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. The political impasse in Rivers State is not showing signs of abating as either sides of the divide continue to throw punches at each other. The latest is the judgment of the Court of Appeal in Abuja, which dismissed the order of the Rivers High Court that restrained Martin Amewule and 24 others from parading themselves as lawmakers of the State House of Assembly. The three-member panel of the appellate court, led by Jimmy Olukaide Bada, held that the trial court lacked jurisdiction to entertain the suit. Such matters can only be heard and determined before a federal high court. Tonight, let's get the legal perspective of Olayinka Ola Daniels, a lawyer. He joins us virtually. Good evening to you, Mr. Daniels. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Right, so now that the court has nullified the ruling which sacked Martin Amewule and 24 other members of the Assembly, what's next?
Well, there is no hassle with this. It's just that some people always try to, use anything as an opportunity for their mischievous way of handling things. The court is clear about what he has said. The Court of Appeal is clear. And when I heard some people saying, anyway, I think the person that was saying that is the imposed speaker of the House of Assembly, because you cannot say Court of Appeal court has heard. It is clear, section 272, subsection 3, made it clear. And we all know that this particular matter, it is exclusive to the Federal High Court. And if you are going to State High Court to seek such order to declare a seat vacant, a seat of the member of the Assembly vacant, I think you should be the one that I've heard here, because the High Court does not have jurisdiction to adjudicate over that matter. It is a Federal High Court matter, exclusively for Federal High Court. And that is what Court of Appeal has said. In the first instance, Mr. Speaker, the imposed Mr. Speaker has no right to even declare a seat vacant. There are processes that must be followed for a seat to be declared vacant. And it is not in the power of, because section 109, subsection of the Constitution, if for any it's sponsored by a political party, and the member has decided to leave that political party to another political party before the end of the terms of, the assembly. And how do we decide that? How do we determine such thing? The provision of that section that can only be determined by the court. It is when evidence is there and strikes, there are issues, there are chaos and all that in the political party that brought them into to the assembly, and they can say, oh, because of this, there is no peace among the political party members. So we cannot stay any longer in this party. We need to move. If they can defend that, if they have enough evidence to prove in court that, yes, they have been able to, to prove that in court, yes, the court will look into it and decide. And if the court is not convinced by evidence, by whatever they bring to court, and court is saying, no, you cannot jump from one party to the other party because this your excuse, this your reason. The court has said,
all right, Mr. Daniels.
Judgment of the court. Yes.
Mr. Ola Daniels, do you think, what you're saying now is that perhaps we need a higher court to determine or interpret what constitutes division in a political party? Is that it?
Take that again.
Are you indirectly saying at this point we may need a higher court to interpret or determine what constitutes division in a political party?
No, you see, the issue right now, even the court that would determine what causes the issue in the political party is not the High Court. These people went to the High Court. The AU went to not determine because the High Court does not. The High Court of Rivers State does not have jurisdiction.
All right.
It matter.
All right. Looks like that's the key point. It looks like that's the key issue, yes. Jurisdiction. Now, what is the implication of this judgment for politics in Rivers State?
Well, the implication of this judgment is clear. Is to say, look, whatever the decision of the High Court, whatever the order of the High Court of Rivers State is void and void ab initio, is illegal and not ab initio. The implication of judgment of property is saying members vacant. You cannot. So meaning that these people are still a member of the State Assembly of Rivers State. Their seats cannot be declared vacant. Now, whether they have decamped to another party or not is another issue entirely, which they still need to go back to the right court. The court that has jurisdiction to hear this matter. But as we speak, and from the judgment of the court of appeal, because it says the court has given that the order is illegal. The order is void, ab initio. The court does not have jurisdiction to decide on this matter. So it cannot give a judgment on the matter. So as it is, if anybody has to go to court for any redress, they have if they want to declare this seat vacant, the 24 lawmaker seat vacant, then they have to go to Federal High Court, which is the court that has jurisdiction to decide this matter.
So is the Federal High Court now the arbiter? Because the other parties have said they are going to the Supreme Court.
It is a constitutional matter, and that is section 272 subsection 3 of the Constitution. The question is, who has jurisdiction to hear this matter? Because when they are going to Supreme Court, they are telling Supreme Court, look, Court of Appeal has voided the order of the lower court, which is the High Court of Rivers State. You are going to Supreme Court to say that. Then Supreme Court will look at the judgment of the Court of Appeal and look, okay, what is the judgment? What is the prayer? What is this sought in this matter? So this thing is not ambiguous in any way. And don't forget that the court is not a Father Christmas. It is what you take to court, the court will give you. So if they are going to court the Supreme Court, they are free to go to Supreme Court on this same matter. But I can tell you that the Supreme Court will align with the judgment of the Court of Appeal.
So if you say this order is not ambiguous, why are lawyers divided on whether or not Section 109(1)(g) is self-executory? No.
You see, except we're going to, don't forget that some people are mischievous and so that they give different interpretations. I mean, the bar and the bench. That is the reason why we have the bench to decide, to determine, and to look critically at lawyers bringing to the table. Now, if some lawyers are saying Section 109G is explanatory, don't forget that. Don't forget that this same Constitution gives freedom of speech and gives so many, sections of law to the citizens. But for instance, when we talk about freedom of speech, don't forget that this same law made it clear that your freedom of speech stops at where another, your freedom of speech and whatever you do, stop at where another one starts from. Mm-hmm. So the Constitution, yes, may say something. The sections of the Constitution may say some things. I'm not. For instance, when G made it clear to say, okay, that the seat to be declared vacant, nobody. Don't forget that all the members of the House of Assembly are representing different constituencies. They represent people. So, irrespective of the fact that they came into a political party, they need to answer to their people. So if their people had not said, no, these are not the people we are sending, so you cannot. The only way, the only place you can seek redress is to go to the judiciary. That is why we... say, oh, the seat will be declared vacant. Don't forget, if you look down, even to subsection 3, to 2 and subsection 3 of section 109, it's explained.
Salah Daniels, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm here. I'm still here.
So I hear everything you've said, but some rep members have also reacted to this matter, and one of them, Honorable Kenga Gochinyere, has said that Martin Amewule and the other 24 members of the Assembly remain sacked. I mean, he said the Court of Appeal only ruled on the jurisdiction of the Rivers State High Court to hear the matter and not the main substance of the matter. Could you clarify this?
Thank you. When you say not the substance of the matter, what is the substance of the matter? Can you, if there is no position, can stand? Now, when you talked about the substance of the matter, what is the substance of the matter? That the Speaker declare the 24 members seats vacant. Does he have power to do so? The answer is absolutely no. By the provision of section 109, subsection 1G. It does not have absolutely power to declare seats vacant. Now, who went to court, to the High Court of Rivers State? This same set of people went to the High Court of Rivers State to tell the court to declare the seat. Why did they go to the court of, to the Rivers State court? If they think is what if the speaker think is what the imposed speaker think that he has the power to do so. Why did they proceed to the High Court to still get an order to support his own invalid action that he has made? That is the substance. Now, Court of Appeal has said us, look, where the foundation that you're claiming you have is faulty. And that is the Rivers State High Court. You cannot go to Rivers State High Court because Rivers State High Court does not have jurisdiction. They know that they don't have, the speaker, the imposed speaker knows that it does not have power. It does not have power to sack or to declare any seat vacant. That is why it tried to look for the backing of the court to support its illegal action. Now, it made an error by going to High Court, which does not have jurisdiction to preside over such, to adjudicate over such matter. Now, Court of Appeal had made it clear and said, look, your foundation is faulty. We are not for that Christmas. This what you are looking for, we cannot give you. So now, because you do not have jurisdiction, whatever was the decision or was the order of the court of the Rivers State High Court is null and void, which means these 24 people remained lawmaker of Rivers State. All right. Because the imposed speaker does not even have jurisdiction to declare their seat vacant. All right. Now, the order they obtain to declare it vacant is null and void, is illegal.
I mean, I get that, Mr. Daniels, but I mean, the next question would be, why do judges entertain cases they do not have jurisdiction over? Isn't this an indictment on the judiciary?
Thank you for these questions. And this is where some of us we have made noise, we have talked, we have cried, because this is simple. And we have said that we need serious reform in the judiciary. We can see that we can see how politicians they try to mess up the judiciary, pollute it by all means because of their own selfish ambitions. We can see how one person will go to a court of this coordinate jurisdiction for the same matter in 10 different courts of same coordinate jurisdiction, getting different orders from this court. These are the things we are talking about. There's no reason why this Rivers State High Court should entertain this matter, because this matter, it knows that it does not have jurisdiction over this matter. There is no reason, some of us will plead with the Chief Judge of Nigeria to call these people to order. This particular court needs to be addressed, and I think the NJC should do something about it. If you know you do not have jurisdiction, we don't have to go all this hula baloo. We don't have to be doing this all the time. And we know what is wrong. We just want to make fool of ourselves, of the profession. We don't have to go this route. You know that you do not have jurisdiction over this matter. Tell them to go to the appropriate court for redress. Rather than embarrassing the judiciary with your selfish reasons. We have cried enough. This is not good for judiciary. How will a common man feel if all these political gladiators are doing this?
So, Mr. Landanes, if eventually a judicial reform happens, what kind of penalty or punishment suits this unprofessionalism?
For me, I will leave that to the agency to decide really on the penalty that should be melted to this kind of a thing. But for me, it's a no-no. We are not encouraging it. We are saying no to it. We need a strong and formidable judiciary, and this cannot be part of it. This is really messing up our democracy. We want a strong democracy, and if this one of the pillars of democracy is the judiciary, then we should avoid shaking the pillars so that the house will not crumble.
All right, great.
So I will leave the issue of punishment to the agency to decide.
All right, thank you so much. That's where we leave this conversation tonight. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Mr. Olayinka Oladanios is a lawyer and also a political affairs analyst. Thank you so much for your legal perspective to this matter. Thank you, and I look forward to more conversations with you. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Right, and thank you for watching, everyone. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at midnight. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG. You can also use the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. Have a great weekend.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. You're watching ShopX TV, home to some of the most popular international brands in Africa, including Gotham Hammered Collection, Genie Bra, Bionic Floodlight, Spot X, Total Crunch Evolution, and more. And we are now proud to introduce our biggest offer of the year. the ShopX mid-year sales. Yes, from now until the end of July 2024, we will be offering our customers 20,000 Naira off this amazing kitchen collection. Tired of pans that scratch and stick or cookware that takes up valuable space in your kitchen? Introducing ShopX Gotham Hammered Copper Collection, the perfect cookware